Okay. Looks like we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the early crew. Glad you could make it. Okay. Okay. Let me get something real quick. Hello. Great. You are obsessed. You are just an obsessed dog. You have one mind. One mind. That's it. Okay. All right. We're here. Doggo, doggo. All right. We're back. I had to go get my dog sorted out. I feel like something is off with the lighting and I'm not sure what it is. Also, I did like big eyeliner today, which I don't normally do, so that's exciting for me. Today's been not been great, honestly. I may need to make myself a drink at some point during the stream. Don't know if that did anything. Is my light just farther away than it normally is? Okay, that looks like, you guys probably can't even tell a difference, but to me it looked different somehow. Oh my god, is the stream up on the big living room TV? Oh no, my pores are all in HD. Oh god. I'm glad I put on makeup. All right, how's everyone doing? How's everyone's Friday? What's going on? Love the lips and eyeliner. I never do black lipstick, and the reason why is not because I don't like black lipstick. It's because it's a mess, and like you can see kind of where my skin's even a little bit pink from putting it on, and like it's just like it's so hard to do it well, especially because I have like no lip definition naturally, so I gotta like draw on my own lips every single time I do makeup. So black lipstick's not very forgiving, but I do like doing it occasionally. I thought, you know what, today I want to do like a simple eye thing. Don't want to do like, you know, crazy makeup. Maybe, I don't know, my hair's kind of, we're on like day 4 hair currently, so, and I also need to re-dye it, and it's just, it's all over the map. I have to redraw lips on my lips. I have no lip definition, so whenever I use lipstick, I have to like create an edge to my own lip that doesn't like naturally exist. So no, although that is funny with the cat eye eyeliner. I get it. I get the pun. Okay, so we've got people waiting. I know we've got some new people in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. Hello, Deji. Hello, Judiki. Hello, Alexandria. Hello, Raven's Rest. Hello, Twixie. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Matthew. Welcome, Giotto. Welcome, Paleo Kitty. Welcome, Sater. I'm trying to, did I miss anyone? Early crew. Hello, Nathan. Hello, DJ Basshawk. Quite the name. Megals. Brenda Lee. Dale, thank you all so much for being here on this Friday. Thank you for spending a little portion of your Friday with me today. So, today, we've got a couple of different things going on. And like it says in the title, we can talk about littles and DDLG and BDSM and all that. If you guys are new here, this is an interactive BDSM Q&A type thing. So if you guys want to talk about stuff related to kink, BDSM, polyamory, asexuality, any of that stuff, that's what we're here to talk about today. And we can talk about whatever y'all want. Again, whatever you guys want to ask questions about, we will talk about it. We will cover it. And I think that's sort of what you need to know about it. The title, the topics are just suggestions. We oftentimes, like, I don't know, 75% of the time, we end up just talking about whatever. It ends up not being what I put in the title at all, just a random guess. And this is an 18 plus only stream, like it says right there. Also, please read the rules down below. There's a really great FAQ, links to resources for common questions, because I've been doing this for years and similar questions occasionally crop up. I would say in the last like year or two, I haven't gotten quite as many of the like repetitive, like, what books do you recommend? How can I tell my boyfriend I want to do this? How do I tell my girlfriend I want her to humiliate me? Like, I don't get as many of those kind of repeat questions over and over again these days, so it's kind of fair game, but I do have links to resources, other videos for common subjects and questions and such, if you guys want to check that out. And also, today is Trans Day of Remembrance, and it's not really like a happy holiday, but it is good to remember our trans brothers and sisters and NBs, and I guess nibblings. Is nibblings the gender neutral? No, siblings, I guess. Nibblings are like nieces and nephews. Just her siblings are trans siblings in the BDSM and in the kink world. And yeah, that's what it's about. And I think that's it. I'm just going to let people know on Twitter that we're streaming. We'll get into some stuff. Today's been a journey for me emotionally, so, you know, well, I think I'll keep it together. We'll see. What are, like, cat emojis? Like fish? I don't really know what emojis people would associate with a cat besides fish. Like birds? I don't know. There's not like, I don't think there's like cat toys or anything. There's like ninja. There's like ninja cats and cats on a dinosaur and like a space cat and like different like emotive faces with cats, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I've like regularly, I think this maybe is like the first time I've ever tried to just use the cat emoji. But all right, we're tweeting. The people know that we're live on Twitter. I am very excited. Yeah, thank you for the Trans Day Remember shout out. I mean, it's literally the least I could do. If you guys are on FetLife at all, if you know who this is, there's a really good writing that a person by the name of Lee Harrington did. And it's like basically it says something like, I don't want to be recognized, or I want to be remembered, or something like that. And it's about like, you know, sort of the current moment. I also put on my black lipstick in eventful days. I mean, it just, you know, it's just armor for your for your face, I guess. I don't know. Does that make sense? Alright, I'm gonna keep just messing with the lighting because for some reason it just doesn't. Is there like a shadow or something? Okay, I'm gonna move. All right, I'm just gonna leave it there, and then hopefully that looks fine. Branding like marketing branding, or branding like a hot poker. You gotta. I'm assuming you mean the latter, but it's worth clarifying in this day and age. Oh, paw prints. Yeah, I guess I hadn't even thought of that. Okay, let's see if we got any questions. We'll start off with that, and then I do need to actually, I don't even have my water with me. I need to go grab that before we get too deep into it. A lot of stuff about cats. Would you like to hear a twist going on in my life? Sure, yeah. I love hearing the latest plot developments. The latest plot twist. I may be joining you in the 1950s housewife kink. Okay, yeah. For people who are not regulars in the stream, we got a couple of regulars here that are big into the 1950s kink, which actually can overlap with, I think, Littles and DDLG pretty well. Not, you know, maybe in the conventional sense of it, but I think it overlaps pretty dang well. Hearty breakfast does sound good. I have been trying to find a vegan breakfast place because I really love the idea of like vegan waffles, and like there was a place in Seattle that did really good like vegan scrambled eggs. It was like a tofu scramble, and I haven't found anyone here that does that, and it's a little sad, but keep on the lookout. Yeah, keeping a part-time job is definitely good, and lets you do the, housewifey, lifey stuff at the same time, because, you're not at work like all the time, so you get chances to be more at home and doing home tasks as well. All right, now we're just talking about food, and I haven't eaten today, and I really want food, and I don't want to turn this into a mukbang. So our mukbang, I think I've said this before, are mukbangs like a thing still? Because I swear I never see anything about them anymore. Like, they were like a really hot moment for like a year or two, and then people took it way too far and were doing like true crime mukbangs, and like it was like people like kind of gleefully retelling true crime events while eating I don't know, like a Doritos taco or whatever, sponsored by Taco Bell, and it was like, okay, well, this is we need to stop this immediately. This is too much. It's too much. Ooh, a breakfast pizza. I think I've seen those before. I don't know what you put in a breakfast pizza. I feel like you'd have to start with like a tomato sauce and English muffins, or like a flatbread. I don't know. Getting my dinner together so I can sit and relax with it while watching some YouTube. My Friday nights are so exciting. Listen, I feel like Friday nights, I've never understood the urge to like go party really hard on a Friday evening. Friday nights are definitely the resting and recuperation night of the week. That's what nature intended. Saturday's the go hard day because you get the rest on Friday evening, then you get the rest again on Sunday. Saturday's the hard party day, IMO. No, there are lots of kink events that are on Friday nights, or even like weekday nights too. Just because I think like actual club events, I think are most popular on like Saturday, Sunday. We had like a really big conversation last night on the Patreon live stream about like Usenet and Second Life and Gaia Online and MapleStory and like the early internet, or like even like not the early internet, but sort of the internet of like 15 years ago versus today, and like how much it's changed in terms of like censorship and what's allowed. Like forums were wild, like especially if you were like, and this wasn't me at the time because I was too young, but like if you were like a young, Kinkster 18, 19, and you were on forums online in like 2012, like you could do some majorly kinky roleplay fairly easily online, and that was just a thing. And now YouTube censors swear words in the captions, and you can't even say the word sex on TikTok, and that's, just how rapidly everything's changed in the last like 10 years is just absolutely unbelievable. Yep, yeah, there is an FAQ and resources in the description box if you want to look at those. But, generally speaking, we don't get too many questions these days that, like, go against the FAQ or the rules or anything. And I love it. The main thing is I do answer questions in the order they come in. I try to keep an eye on the kind of currently going chat and also on the previous chat, like from, when the stream started. And I try to go off of that. If you spam the chat like 5 times in a row with the same question, I'm not going to answer it because I'm a spiteful bitch and I don't like rewarding bad behavior. So just, ask once. If I don't get to it, if I miss it, make sure you got your punctuation in there, got your question mark. And I do usually offer people an opportunity at the very end to put in any sort of last minute questions in case I missed it. I get the Friday party thing. Some work weeks, you can't wait to do something else. Oh, that's true. Yeah, no, that's fair. Like if you're just like, oh, I need to be done with this, and you just like, it's a big mood change. I never had that urge when I worked in an office. I just wanted to go and just be like, ugh. Like I just couldn't, like having to go spend a whole week doing really high energy stuff, and then the idea of translating or transitioning from that into a high energy club environment, ugh, no, gotta have something low energy in there. I'm not personally a little. However, I am a pet player and we overlap a lot, and I share spaces with littles like pretty frequently, and I feel like this positive sense of responsibility towards littles and like representing DDLG and ABDL and stuff online as a non-little myself, though I am educated about it. I've taken at least like a dozen classes about age play, DDLG, ABDL, etc. over the years. And I feel like it's good to have a representative that's not necessarily a part of that community. And I haven't found a lot of like great channels that are like strictly like DDLG related channels. There's a couple for ABDLs, but not like CGL or DDLG in particular. And I feel like it's good to have somebody who's outside of that group like talk about it, because I feel like if you're somebody who's like skeptical of it or doesn't get it, it can be helpful to have somebody who's also not that thing try to explain it to you. Maybe it resonates more that way when it's another person who's also not into it. I don't know. And also just because it's not my kink doesn't mean that I shouldn't talk about it or that it's not a legitimate kink. I think I want to represent kinks that aren't necessarily my own, because just because they're not my kinks doesn't mean that they're bad or unusual or aren't worth talking about. And I like learning. And because I am a person who learns, I like sharing the knowledge that I have. Gonna see how long I can last playing Skyrim while listening to the live. I mean, good luck. I have not played Skyrim probably, I think 2 years after it came out. I stopped playing it. People who have continually played Skyrim this entire time, what brings you back? Because I have that feeling towards Oblivion, but not towards Skyrim at all. Like, I would love to get a complete remaster of Oblivion and have all the graphics updated and do all that. Because I just feel like there's something about the soundtrack, the environment, the plot lines that for me were just a little bit more engaging than Skyrim was. Like, Skyrim was definitely a really good game, but it didn't have the same je ne sais quoi, you know? But that's me. Well, you are primed to go out later and rock a goth dance club. Or not, of course, no. It's the end of the month. I've got way too many emails to catch up on, and I've got a video for Patreon that I'm not done editing yet because I told myself before I started filming, I'm going to keep this to 25 minutes or less. And I got in the zone and I started talking, and suddenly I had way more to say than I thought I had to say. And then suddenly it was 45 minutes and here we are. So that's basically what I did today. Let's be honest, every little needs their pet. That's true. Littles and pets are like peanut butter and jelly. Or maybe like peanut butter and apple slices. Because I feel like peanut butter and jelly is like caregivers and littles. And then littles and pets are like, it's just, you put that together with a glass of milk and you got like a really nice, wholesome, nutritious, made at home meal. As a little vegan, I feel like that is a very true phenomena. People are much more willing to hear you say something positive about a group they're iffy on when you precede it with, I'm not an ex, but yeah, exactly. Like, I try to take advantage of that. It's a delicate balance because I try not to speak over people that are those identities that I'm not, that I'm talking about, especially with things like being a little, because so many people, but not everyone, who is a little is like, they are a little, right? Like, it's like a personality thing. It's like, this is a reflection of who I am on the inside that I'm doing in this relationship with this person or on my own. And because of that, there's, I think, a lot more pressure to represent that like completely accurately. Of course, it is very difficult to speak to every single person's experiences because being a little is so individual. And I think I even said this in the video that came out a couple days ago when I was researching about this, when I was looking into like age play versus little versus baby girl. When you look into it, you go to different ABDL forums, you go on FetLife, you go on Reddit, you go on people's blogs, you go to YouTube videos. Each one of those sources, you're going to get a completely different answer. Somebody's going to tell you, oh, like littles and age play, or they're basically the same thing. And then someone else is going to tell you littles and age play totally separate. And it's like, where is the truth? I don't know. And it's, it's difficult to figure that out sometimes, and it's a process. And honestly, really what it comes down to is there's broad strokes you can give, but everyone's going to have their own individual experience because that's what BDSM is. It's individual experiences at the end of the day. How would you describe the difference between DDLG and CGL other than obviously gender neutrality? I tend to think of the relationship between those two terms as like CGL is the umbrella term and DDLG is one branch off of that. Like in the same way there's like bondage, right? And then like rope bondage or like shibari or scarf bondage or like different categories under bondage. That's generally how I think about it. I think if you were to get really stereotypical, you could probably find some differences between like DDLG and CGL. Like you could say, well, people who are into DDLG are more likely to like the color pink or wear tutus or like unicorns because DDLG tends to bring to mind this very social media driven picture of what that looks like, which is over the top, super girly, super fluffy, tutus, onesies, binkies, sippy cups, cartoons, stuffy collections, you know, the whole 9 yards, right? Of like very, very over the top, like girly stuff. But you don't have to be a girly girl to be a little girl, you know? Like, that's something I want to talk about that a couple of people have brought up in comments is like, well, I'm a tomboy, or I'm a boy, I'm mask, I'm, you know, my gender presentation is more masculine, or I just am a boy, I'm a man, and I want to do this, but the way that people talk about it is, even if it's gender neutral in something like Caregiver Little, the conversation around it ends up being like, still very much geared towards like feminine expression of it. And I think I would like to, and I don't really know what angle I would do on this yet, so let me know what you guys think about it. I would really love to do a video talking about more like masculine tomboy little things and like what it is to be a little who's like that, or a baby boy, or a more masculine or tomboyish little, like, because usually when I make videos about it, I try to be very neutral about it, but I think it's just so strongly weighted towards a more feminine presentation that even when you're talking neutrally, it is still bent towards that just because of the preponderance of like public examples, which I think is so fascinating because when you look at the data about like people that are ABDLs, which is not the same thing as CGL, ABDL is very, very largely, especially for diaper lovers, that side of it, is very largely male. And when I was first coming into the scene, one of the first people I ever met ever in the scene, and the first person I ever met that was doing something, I don't remember if he was an age player or ABDL or how he identified, but he was like a little boy. And so like my first interaction was actually a mommy dom little boy relationship, not a DDLG relationship, which is really interesting. Tonka trucks, yes. I always think of like Legos, trains, building models, flying drones, sports. That's kind of what I think of. But yeah, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here in terms of the questions. So let's get back to that for a second. I just finished your baby girl / little girl video, and you explained everything amazingly to me. I'm a pet / a baby girl. Well, I'm really, really glad to hear that, because when I was editing it, and I was like, I don't like have time to figure out how to massage the way that I said this, or like put in a, like, I didn't know if it was like, maybe I'll just say what it is, and then I'll talk about like when I was editing it. I just was like, do I edit this out? Does this make sense? I don't know. Towards the end of the video, I made a comparison about how like the approach to certain things that might be common between a little and a baby girl is that like a little tends to be more childlike, whereas a baby girl can be like childish but still an adult. Like an adult who's childish versus actually acting like a child. And also on top of that, I think I compared like baby girls sort of to have more of the approach of like a kept housewife or like a trophy wife. And I said that, and then after I said it, I was editing it, I was like, I wonder if people are gonna hear that and interpret it in the way that I think about it in my head. Because what I was thinking about is like sort of the kept Beverly Hills woman who's like, she's like 25 and her partner's like 40 and like he's a movie executive or something, and like she's always like, but daddy, I really want this Louis Vuitton. Like it's sort of like entitled and childish a little bit, but it's sort of the like valley girl, like I want this thing, daddy buy this for me type energy, or like sort of like the expectation of being sort of kept like sort of like a princess and pampered and doted on, and like, you know, daddy has rules, daddy is not a free-for-all, right? Like there's still structure and expectations, and you're not going to be able to max out daddy's charge card without consequences. But like that's sort of more the vibe I get from a lot of baby girls, is kind of this ability to act more childish while still fully being an adult and doing things in like an adult way, with kind of still that sort of like huffy, you know, used to being the center. I guess it's really what it is. It's like being used to being the center of attention. You know, like this, like my way is the highway. I'm the center of attention. We're gonna do what I want to do, right? I don't know. Maybe that makes it make even less sense. But that's how I think about it, and what I've seen from people that want baby girl relationships or have them. I understood the comparison at the end of the video, Evie. Also, your makeup color was beautiful in that video. I mean, of course, it's always pretty, but it out. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I was trying to figure out colors that would go with my burgundy nails that I currently have going, and I did a really nice, like, kind of soft neutral brown and burgundy look, and then I was like, okay, I want to do like a bold look, so I did blue and burgundy, and then when I transitioned it together, I ended up mixing into kind of purple in the middle, so I put a little purple sparkle on there, and I liked it. I liked how it turned out. Absolutely. I don't think the burgundy was as prominent in the eye look as I wanted it to be. Like, I wanted it to be burgundy with a little bit of blue. It ended up being kind of more equal, but I liked it. It was fun. It was fun. Would love to hear from some folks in a DDLG dynamic. Is to say what it was like before it became popular on social media? Yeah, I would. That's a really interesting question, because there were a couple of books, and by a couple, I think there's literally one by Lee Harrington, and I think that's it. There was maybe one or two books that were about ABDLs and like age play that were around before it really blew up online. But I think even now it's hard to find concrete research or evidence of like this is what it was like in like 2005. I think the closest thing you're going to have to that is I have an interview with, I think it's with Leland Karina, and we talk about, and I think actually maybe Brie Burning too. We talk about leather culture and like leather dykes and baby girls and like littles in that context, because it turns out in the lesbian BDSM scene, littles and baby girls and having that type of dynamic has been around for a real long time. And thinking back on all the cons that I've been to where there's been lesbian presenters, there's more daddies than not. Like there's a lot of he him daddy lesbians, and I was thinking about this when I was at a virtual conference over this past weekend taking some classes, and I was like, there are so many women that have been in the scene in the last 30 years, right? Even going back to the 80s probably, though we have like kind of less documentation the farther we go back, and less people still around, unfortunately. And how much would it break Twitter's brain or like Reddit's brain to learn that there's like just a ton of he, him, lesbian, she, they, non-binary, like just like gender fuckery has been a big part of especially queer and lesbian BDSM spaces for a long, long, long time. It's so much of a long time. It's almost like baked into it in a way, which I love, and I wish that there was like more openness of that, because I think people get this idea that different gender expressions or pronouns or titles or like whatever, like that's all sort of this like newfangled TikTok invention, when in reality, like I took a class this weekend from somebody who started doing BDSM in 1979, and it was a thing then. So it's always been a thing. Yeah, very interesting. Oh no, I'm currently having an email convo with a potential landlord who can't do math. I feel like I'm talking to a child. Why do people dumb sometimes? Hope all of you are having a better night. I mean, good luck, Alex, because, I mean, that's a bad sign. I feel like if your landlord or potential landlord can't do math, do you want to maybe not be their tenant if they can't? Because that's how you that's how you end up in you paid an $800 security deposit, and then when I did the math on the cleaning fees and the carpet replacement and all of that, that cost $400, but I'm only gonna give you $200 back, and then I'm gonna argue with you about why I only owe you $200 out of your security deposit, and the nightmare that would cause. No, thank you. Yep, lesbian sex mafia has been around since the beginning of BDSM. Yep, yeah, there were some pictures that were shown during, I don't know which one of I think it was maybe the class or the discussion group or panel, I guess. Let's say panel. Panel sounds like the most accurate thing. The panel that I watched where they were talking about coming up in the leather scene as female masters. Because as I discuss in the Patreon video that I'm doing about femdom, there has been a long time belief for some fucking reason in the pansexual, and I imagine possibly the gay male, leather culture that women cannot be masters, women cannot be dominant. And this was actually a pretty prevalent view for, I don't know, 10, 20 years at least. The BDSM community's history is not that long. I would say at least the first half of the het BDSM community's history, they sort of had women can't be masters. But women could top, right? They could do a co-topping scene. They could do pegging and you're my alpha submissive and I'm gonna let you top my submissive, but you're still really a submissive. They would do that kind of shit, but people that could be masters on their own and a total power exchange relationship, they did not vibe with. When it comes to BDSM history, I love the gender fuckery. Yeah. Queering and mingling that I've read about is affirmed my sexuality / identity and to be confident about it. Yes. Because we are far from the first ones to have these complicated thoughts about gender and sexuality. That's for sure. Not that I can't be more than one, but now I wonder which role resonates more with me. Brat, baby girl, princess, little girl, etc. I mean, honestly, sometimes you just gotta try them all on for size. Sometimes you gotta go, okay, what works with me, or what works with a partner? And I find that oftentimes different kind of, I want to phrase this correctly, different manifestations of your underlying tendencies will come out with different partners. It's not that you become a different person or wow, I've never been this way until I've been with you. It's not necessarily like that. It's you have certain underlying maybe behaviors or preferences or something, and with different partners, different parts of those will come out in different ways. So for with one partner, you might be more of a pet. With another partner, you might be more of a little or a baby girl or a princess or so on and so forth. So sometimes it can depend not just on you individually on your own, but also the people you're doing these scenes with if you're doing it in a partnered way. And so sometimes it's about more the dynamic you have with the person, not just you in isolation too, which is very interesting. I did not get a cat. One of my roommates got a cat. Maybe we should talk about that. Well, I'll talk about that in half an hour. I want to make sure we get through some good questions first, and then we'll get into that. My roommate, though, got a cat from the shelter that I think was a stray. We don't really know for sure. And she has a random name that was given by the shelter. And I don't think she has any other previous name. And I thought I would just poll you all for cat names and what makes sense for a good cat name for this cat. But we're not going to do that yet. We're going to wait another half an hour and then we're going to get into talking about cat names. How's that sound? Listen, gender fuckery is for everybody. Be a drag king. Be, be a full-on cis man and wear a latex bodysuit and 10-inch platform heels. Like, genuinely, I really hope that we break down more barriers with, like, dress and presentation. And, like, if you want to do drag, like, do drag. There's lots of, like, cis women that are drag queens. Like, people think, oh, drag equal trans. But, like, lots of people that are not trans also do drag, you know? It's just, sometimes you want to wear big Barbie doll eye makeup and wear a wig made out of 4 different wigs and platforms and a corset, and then you want to lip sync to a Britney Spears song, and that's just what you're into. I've never watched RuPaul's Drag Race before. I think I've watched maybe an episode or two. Like, I've never watched a whole season, never done that. I basically know nothing about drag culture, so please don't, like, if you're like, oh, who about this, like, I know that Trixie Mattel and, like, Katya exist. I don't know anything about them. I think they have a YouTube channel and, like, a podcast type thing. That's all I got. That's the extent of my knowledge, other than I personally know people that do drag performances and stuff, and that's not always the stereotype that people, I think, expect. How are you doing, and your sir? How's everything with you guys? What, sir, are you talking? Okay, I'm going to just be innocent question. Just going to be very clear. I have not been collared in, like, almost 2 years. I don't, well, okay, let's just back it up for a second. The partner I'm going to assume that you're thinking of, I have not been with for almost 2 years. And I made the decision as a result of that I was no longer going to talk about my relationships on YouTube. And this is a thing that a lot of YouTubers have to learn. It's just, it just ends up being awkward when you talk about your relationships on the internet, and then they end, and then, like, from that point onward for, like, years afterwards, people are like, oh, what happened to that person? And it's like, it's not a bad thing. I totally get it. I would be in the same position if I was watching a YouTuber, and, like, I get it. I totally get it. It's just, don't talk about my I don't talk about my new relationships on YouTube anymore. Now, theoretically, I might use some things from those relationships to, like, inform videos that I make. I'm not currently with anyone who's, like, comfortable being on video anyways. That's sort of, like, it's sort of a non-starter at this point anyways. Like, it just is what it is. I'd like to, at some point, like, be able to do, like, demo videos with somebody again and do kind of more instructional stuff maybe, but, like, in terms of, like, personal, here's my relationship, like, the only way I'm really planning on telling anyone I have a DS relationship again, or if I'm in one or whatever, is, like, if I run for, like, a title year for a leather contest, and I, like, decide I want to run for, like, I don't know, like, Portland State Leather, or, like, Northwest Master Slave 2025, like, if I end up wanting to run for a title, then people will know about it, but other than that, I just feel like that's the best policy. Same, I don't talk about my relationships anymore. I agree with you on that. Yeah, it's just, the internet makes stuff, it just makes it messy. It just makes it messy. Does Bandit ever judge you for being an imaginary pet when she's a real pet? She does not like hoods, so I don't really wear them. Anything that covers my face freaks her out, and she doesn't really like playing with toys or anything, so she doesn't really care about that part of it, but anything with the hood, she's just like, it freaks her out. She like, is legit, like, it's really sad. Like, she gets scared. Like, it's like, she tries to hide in a corner and, like, go very far away from me, and I'm like, no, you're my baby. You can't, don't run away. Like, it's heartbreaking. So I don't wear hoods. I don't wear hoods in the house, at least. Yeah, I was like, oh, that makes more sense now. Yeah. Oh, I I should, yeah, there's pageants like that. Yeah, so in the leather community, and there's a whole history behind this. You can go and Google. But in the leather scene in particular, there's a whole bunch of titles, and essentially there's regional and state titles, and even international titles abroad as well, for people that are representing the local leather community, the master slave community, bootblacking, and it's basically running for a title is a pretty intense process, and if you win a title, you essentially dedicate a year of your life or longer if you were a 2020 or 2019 individual who ran for a title and got a title. You would go around for a year, volunteering, fundraising for that community, teaching events. It's very much like you get this position of honor in the community, but you also are obligated to do quite a lot in terms of volunteering and education, and it's a way of giving back. And it grew out of beauty pageants in gay bars. So it's not a straight line from one to the other, but it is an interesting sort of piece of broader BDSM and leather culture history for sure. It must be very confusing for her. Like, it smells like mom, but it doesn't look like mom. I don't like it. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't really know if she's very much like a smell-oriented dog, Oh, which I need to get oh my god, we're at 150 people. Hi, welcome, people of the internet. Welcome, welcome. I am going to take a minute to turn the doggy camera back on because she was like, she's obsessed with this new cat. I'm chopped fucking liver. Like, she does not care about me at all. She's like, cat, cat, cat. She's got a single mind, and that mind is on being best friends with the new cat, and that's it. So she's finally calmed down a little bit now where she's like not just whining at the door trying to escape to get to the cat. No, I refuse. I will not be president. I have, from what I've seen of local government, I have zero interest of being in any position in any local government whatsoever. No, thank you. Oh, yes, if you want your question to be answered, by the way, if you want to make sure I get to it, you can use a super chat. You can do it either through YouTube, with a little $sign in the chat, or you can go to Streamlabs down below. Either way works. And it's a good way to make sure that your questions get answered. It'll highlight them, it pops up with a really cute thing on the screen, and if you donate over a certain amount, it will also read it out loud, which is also really nice, and yeah. Oh, thanks, love. Love what you do for the BDSM community. Thank you. For a second, I thought you were referring to me as love, like in a northeastern English way. like, oh, what's up? Like, I don't even know how to, like, impersonate that vaguely appropriately, but, like, a lot of people just say love is, like, a general term of affection for folks. Okay, so now we're back to the branding question. So, my take on branding. I'm gonna assume that you mean like ice branding, hot iron branding, that kind of a thing. Oh, thank you, Boopernova. Here's a good example of what a super chat looks like on the screen. You get a little shout out. It's very fun. It's very nice. We love it. And yeah. So, branding, ice branding, hot branding. Funnily enough, whenever I think of branding now, I think of this one very funny story from when I was at a party years ago now, and I met somebody who was new to the community, and they were really into hypnosis. They were like so proud they were like, I'm into this, I'm into that, and like I get it when you're new and you're like making conversation, like how those would come up, and then they started going on this thing about like how they like had hypnosis triggers for their partner every morning and how they would wake up and feel all these piercings and tattoos and whatever. I don't remember exactly everything it was. I remember piercings for sure were on there. And then around that same time, I remember reading a FetLife story from somebody. I don't think it was this individual, but from somebody who had done a hypnosis scene to make their partner feel like they had been branded, but hadn't actually branded them. And it was like a big mindfuck hypnosis type thing. And I think that that's probably a better way to do branding. than like solar branding, cattle iron branding, even like ice branding as well. There's lots of different methods for it. I just think there's a really high risk of infection. And a long time ago in Fat Life, like when I was first in the scene, there was a big story that was making the rounds of somebody, I don't know, somewhere on the East Coast, I want to say, that was doing solar brands on people and leaving them with horrible injuries and debilitating infections that required hospitalization and quite a bit of medical fees on the other side of it. Like, I remember people, like, at least one person was in the hospital, and it just, like, things did not go to plan for these solar brandings, and it was a really, really huge deal. And it's unfortunate, like, it is one of those higher risk kink activities, and it's hard to do correctly. It is very, very intense. I would say for people that want to try branding, first, what I'd recommend people try is a hook pull, because they tend to be, like, more community organized, and I think that puts them in a better position in terms of, like, safety and accountability, and I think they're a really good energetic experience, and hook pulls do not leave you with the same extent of, like, permanent marking that a full-on branding would. So I'd recommend doing that. And I think tattoos are probably safer than getting a brand, unless it's a really, really small, like, you know, if we're counting, like, heating up a sewing needle under a flame and then tapping it on somebody once as being a brand, you know. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Dave. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, cat names we're doing at the top of the hour. We're doing that at 7 p.m. So, don't worry about it. Do you keep PDF files of research regarding BDSM topics? I ask as a student who's attending uni and was wondering if you share those research articles you reference about in your videos. So, when I write a video, if I do research for it, it's hard because a lot of my stuff is from like conventions and stuff, which means I have a lot of notes on, like, notebook paper like this, and I'll reference those occasionally. I mostly keep, like, a folder of bookmarks on my Google. Why can't I talk today? I keep a folder of bookmarks on my Chrome, and for individual videos, I write scripts for them usually. And then when I'm referencing something or quoting something, I will link to the relevant article with, like, a hyperlink or something. If I had to keep a running PDF file of all of the things I've ever read about BDSM, I don't even know how, that would be like thousands of pages, like over 1,000 pages. Maybe not thousands, but at least 1,000 pages probably. Because there's lots of books too. Like, I have books that I have highlights from reading on the Kindle that I've printed out. I have actual physical book copies. And yeah, it's a lot. It's like, there's so many different formats of stuff that I've gotten information from that it's hard to put it all in one place, because I've got the physical notes, physical books, Kindle notes, online research, just like my random own anecdotal experience, stuff from Fet Life, stories from friends, discussion groups I've been a part of, my memory of that kind of a thing. Like, it's a lot. I think it's a lot more difficult to maybe keep track of than, like, PDFs of research studies. And I do download those. Like, typically if I find a PDF of, like, relevant research, like on asexuality or pain processing or something, I'll download it and I'll keep the PDF in, like, the folder, because I organize when I make videos. I usually film 2 videos in one day. If you guys have probably noticed that format for my makeup being the same for both videos in 1 week. I'll film the videos. I'll put all of the raw footage, thumbnail photos, and then anything I use on screen in the video, I will put in there as well. And then if I have research from, like, PDFs or, like, downloadable stuff, I will save that and put that in that folder, so it all kind of goes together. Would you ever do a live panel with more folk? I would love to do that. I don't have the equipment to do that here, but I would love that, like a convention or something. That would be awesome. I'd totally do that for sure. How about a custom temporary tattoo? Yeah, totally. I think like if you want the feeling of like my master's marking me, like you can get a temporary tattoo. You can get supplies for henna because that lasts a little bit longer. You can do, I think, what did somebody suggest in the comments? A custom ink stamp. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I've actually known people that have done not custom ink stamps, but like wax seals for like thank you letters for like high protocol dinners. So there's lots of options if you want that feeling of somebody marking you or something, and to work up to the point of like, okay, I actually want a brand. Because the only people I know in the scene that have done like branding, they don't do it as like a scene for the sensation, although I'm sure people do that. They do it as a like mark of the permanence of their relationship. That their relationship has gone to such a high point that in their, you know, typically MS or total power exchange people of some description, not all the time, but most of the time. And it's a way of like showing the true devotion, loyalty, commitment, and longevity of the relationship, I think is mostly what it is, rather than like the intensity of the sensation. Vet life's going downhill. Okay, we'll talk about that. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. We gotta get to some other stuff first. What kinds of BDSM books have you read and recommend? Okay, I don't know if you said that, Thomas, before I said it's in the FAQ. Links below if you want book recommendations. I've talked about it a lot before. My highlights for books that I like recommending to people is The Ultimate Guide to Bondage, if you want to read about bondage by Mistress Couple. Anton Fullman's books as well. He has 2 books now, and I forget which one comes first. And they're definitely kind of more of like a 101 and 2 level book. So, The Heart of Dominance and the Dominance Playbook by Anton Fullman. If you want more of a historical view of BDSM, Screw the Roses, Give Me the Thorns is a nice sort of look back on like the perspective on BDSM we had like 20 years ago. And then from an MS perspective, my favorite book is Living MS by Dan and Dawn Williams. And as a more kind of general, like submissive book, it's by Casey Cunningham. And that one I think is Conquer Me, right? Which I should reread because it's been a couple years now at this point. Yeah, Conquer Me. Girl to Girl Wisdom About Fulfilling Your Submissive Desires by Casey Cunningham. So that's kind of a selection of some of my top line favorites. But there's dozens of books you could read depending on what your interests are, and I can't possibly speak to all of those. So links down below, FAQ, lots of resources, lots of recommendations, and links on my FAQ in there. I planned an entire day for my little girl to be little last week, and she made other plans. Oh, well, you tried so hard. I'm so sorry that it didn't work out for you. Hopefully you can make that work again in the future. Question. Do you have any additional sources for someone interested in primal play? I've seen your videos countless times and love it, but haven't been able to find much more on the topic. The reason why I don't have more videos about it is because I can't find more research about it. I have taken every class about it at every opportunity. Lee Harrington, I think occasionally will teach something about it, and Lee Harrington's like my favorite. So if you ever see anything by Lee Harrington, you're pretty much going to be in for a good time. Did I get lipstick on my face? I can't tell if that's lipstick or my makeup wearing off. I can't tell. Anyways, beautiful view of my face right there. There's like a couple of websites that have like articles about it that I think like describe it fairly okay, but there's really not that many resources about it. I did an interview with Rain to Gray where we talked about primal play kind of towards the end, and what it really comes down to is it's very similar to like trying to do like a break-in CNC scene, you know, like a ravishment play scene. If you guys pick up what I'm avoiding saying a certain word because I don't want YouTube to get mad at me, but it's very similar to that, and it's a skill built up of many different skills. Like if you want to do a break-in, takedown, and capture scene, you gotta have a lot of skills under your belt. And with primal play, it's really like, can be at least, in a scene sense, it's like applied rough body play, wrestling, takedown and capture, maybe sometimes some bondage, role play, animal role play, hojo jutsu. If you're doing bondage, that's a very particular way of doing it. Like restraint, cages maybe. Like there could be a lot of overlapping skills into that. So if you're wanting to like build skills for doing a primal play scene, I would look more into that rather than trying to find more resources about primal play. I have an idea for a video in my head that's a subject I've personally never seen covered. This will be an Evie Lupine original. So this is my OC, don't steal. I really want to do a video about primal play, like primal power exchange dynamics. Because all the classes I've been to, almost all the resources even that I've seen about primal play, they have all been focused on like scenes and takedown and capture and like predator-prey dynamics for the most part, not always. And I think that there's sort of this whole untapped potential area of like primal animal roleplay influenced power exchange relationships, not even necessarily between like a predator and a prey, but between like a bonded pair, right? Like a mated pair of tigers or like whatever the fuck. Like if that's your like animal influence for the way you do primal play, I think in the same way that you can have like a CNC based power exchange relationship, even though CNC is mostly done by most people as like a standalone activity that can be a common element in a larger dynamic, but it's not like the dynamic. I think a lot of people have like primal play, rough body play type scenes, and you can also have a relationship that's like a different manifestation of that. Like it's not just about like the takedown and capture, like influences the flavor of the whole relationship in terms of like the power exchange, which I think would be a really interesting subject. But then I try to write about it and it's so hard to explain. Like it's like I have this idea in my head, like I get writer's block, and maybe not even writer's block. I think because of the very nature of what primal play is for so many people, it's very difficult to like explain how to do it or what it looks like, because it's so based on individual feeling and like instinct and stuff. That's very, very hard to capture talking about that. That doesn't just go back to like do what your instincts tell you to do, because there's definitely YouTube videos I've watched before about primal play, and what they boil down to is like, you do what feels instinctual, man, and like that's not helpful. Like, thank you, I could figure that out on my own. Didn't need an 8-minute video to describe that to me. But yeah, that's like a whole thing. I would love to talk about it more again, though. Went to a kink event recently with a kink fashion contest, and this amazing 1950s couple won by a lens. You know what? I love it. 1950s couples are like the best, because I think what I've been so used to seeing is you get like, usually the female submissive is like, or even sometimes the female dominant is dressed up to like the nines in like period accurate clothing. She's got like the period accurate seamed stockings and the garter belt and the dress and the petticoat and the makeup and the nails and everything. And then the guy's wearing like cargos and a t-shirt. And it's like, I mean, opposites attract. You can be a dom and have absolutely zero fashion sense. Nobody is saying male submissives have to dress up like a newspaper boy from the 30s, but I just think it's funny when you have like really, really high effort aesthetic and like no effort aesthetic right next to each other. And so when you see both parts of a couple like really putting it all together, being really coordinated, it's so cute, it's so precious. I love it. It's super, super cute. More people should do it. More couples dressing up for BDSM. Thank you. That's my message. All right. All right, I'm going to turn the bandit camera on, and then we're going to get into cat names, I guess, because that's what we're doing today. Now it's meow time. Yes, thank you. It's meow time. It's meow time, little dog. Your favorite time. You love the meows. You love meow meows. I think you love meow meows more than you love me, which is outrageous because I feed you, and I clothe you, and I house you, and I keep you loved and safe and warm. And yet, when cats are around, I'm just chopped liver. Just no appreciation. Just no appreciation from this little dog. I'll tell you what. No gratitude. All right. Okay. Let me get the camera set up because I plugged it back in again. And it's like a whole thing. Okay, where is this camera? Where you going, little dog? Where you going? Oh, you're so cute. I know. All right. How do I just need to have it closed? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. There we go. Doggo, doggo, dog. There we go. Hi, baby. Hi, my baby. Hi. Are you excited about Cato Friend? I know the Cato Friend, I think, just went by. The Cato Friend just went by, huh? You're standing at attention, waiting for that cat. This is how she's been all day. She was whining constantly earlier, and now that's finally stopped. I'm not sure how long this is going to go on for. Okay, I really hope I didn't lose the chat. Okay, so cat name suggestions. I'm gonna write these down. Okay. So the cat. Let's talk about the cat. Let's talk about the personality of the cat and talk about absolute no-goes. So the cat in question, not my cat. It's my roommate's cat or one of my roommate's cats, and this is a female cat. She's 5 years old. She's a black cat with a little bit of a white patch on her chest, like little white half socks on her front paws and like white knee-high socks on her back paws and green eyes. She's very friendly. She actually kind of is a little bit dog-like. She wags her tail, which is interesting. She's not super vocal from what I can tell so far. And she's very friendly. She likes people. I think she tolerates dogs. I don't know how much. I don't think she's into dogs nearly as much as this dog is into cats. No, the cat will not be. So this is the thing. I'm allergic to cats. So I am minimizing my contact being around this particular feline. My room, my office are no-go zones for the cat, but I am happy to contribute in a way that I can. So the cat's current name, actually, I won't say it because I don't want people, I don't know, like how people could look things up. The cat's current name is like fine. It's not like a favorite. It's kind of long. I'm not sure we really want a long cat name though. Yeah, a tuxedo. But her face doesn't have any white on it, I don't remember. Okay, now she's laying down. She's doing good. She's a good baby. She's my good baby. You'll always be my baby. You'll always be my baby. I did go look at dogs at the shelter, and there were some puppies and 0 toy breed dogs. It was like a bunch of huskies and golden retrievers and like that kind of size dog, like German shepherds. And I was like, oh, they don't ever have small dogs here. I know, no mittens, no no little-ish names, like no like stereotypical little kid, like no Fluffy, Princess, like not that kind of thing. Jeanette, I love it. Raven, Morticia. Listen, I would name this cat a goth-ass name. Like, I would name her, like, Raven, Morticia, absolutely. Something from, like, I don't know. I'd probably look up character names from Edgar Allan Poe novels. I'd probably go from that, too. Okay, Okay, let's do, got Raven. Lady Mew. I mean, honestly, their nicknames are probably going to be Cookies and Cream, Oreo. I think Oreo counts as like a stereotypical little kid name. I do wonder how many cats are named Oreo, though. Sneeze. Selena. I like Selena. Panda. Penguin. I would just call her Penguino all the time because I love penguinos. Penguinos. All my pets always have a dozen or more names. That's true. My dog has like a dozen names. She's Bandit. I have to be careful about saying because it activates her. Her full name is like psh, like activated. Like she's Bandita, Bandolina, Bandarina, Little Miss, Little Lady, Baby Girl, Sweetie Pie. Bandita Sofrita. I think Bandolina is probably her most common name. Little girl, baby girl, all those. I met 3 Oreo pets. That's, yeah. Oh, Jinx. I like that. Jinx is cute. Because also she's a black cat. I like Jinx. That's cute. Karma. Carbon? I don't think that's feminine enough. Freya. Freya is also always a good name for a cat. Hecate. We love all the names coming out. Sir Thomas. I love it. A Narcissa. Isn't in Harry Potter, isn't that the name of Bellatrix's sister? Isn't her name Narcissa? Because also there's a flower that's called Narcissa, I think, too. Pen. I know I did activate her. Also, I think the cat went by recently. Selena Kyle, exactly. My dog is Captain Jack Harkness. I've actually never watched any of the Doctor Who that he's in. I think it's Harkness. Is that how you say the last name? Nyx, obviously, of course. Wednesday. Vera, yeah. I'm writing these really fast, and I'm left-handed, so my hand is smearing the ink a little bit on the names. Wednesday, of course, I gotta write that one down. I can just abbreviate that one. Carbonatrix. I think if her name was Carbon, she would end up being Carbonara really fast. Like, we just evolve into pasta names very quickly. Or like Catanara, like we just end up being a very I know, she's doing the paw wave thing because she wants my attention. What she wants is for me to open the door. I know we're doing our little meerkat, huh? We're doing our little meerkat, and it's because you want to go say hello to the cat. But we are not saying hello to the cat unsupervised. No unsupervised. No unsupervised cat time with the dog. What about like Russian names? I feel like I'm just gonna say Carbonara because that one makes me laugh. Juliet, Willow. I like Willow for a cat name. I feel like Willow's a good cat name. Tourmaline. Oh, like the gemstone. Lydia. That's a good one. Probably wouldn't put Deets in there. Onyx, yeah. Squid. Inky. Yeah, she's very close. I can't back up the camera anymore, so you guys are just gonna. I know. When it. Here we go. Good girl. Well, I guess I could probably. I feel like as soon as I move it, she's gonna move more because it's like right. The camera's like, I know. Oh, like, see, look there. That's. I thought that would happen. You're a little troublemaker. You're a little troublemaker. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like Russian female names. I feel like Russian names and like Eastern European names go really well for a cat for some reason. I've never owned a cat before, so I have absolutely no idea. My understanding is cats don't give a shit about their name whatsoever. They meow and they don't care. Nadia, Petrova. Sushi? Bubsy? I feel like Bubsy's too masculine. That would be funny though. Vasya? I'm kind of looking for something that'll be different enough from like my dog's name to where my dog doesn't think the cat's name is her name. And so anything with a B in it is a little bit like, Foxy Love. Oh my god. Eek. My two cats know his names. And then it's like, cats don't care, they won't call him. Exactly. Alright, now it's raining pretty hard actually. The visual ASMR in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear. Is it thundering outside or is that a truck going by? Katya? I feel like Katya is the most obvious one because there's like a cat. The word cat's already in there, you know? My Betty Page cat knew her name. The rest didn't really care. Yeah. Marusa? Marusia? Maybe. I don't have any cat pictures to show you guys. I would show you cat pictures, but I don't have any. She is a black cat with green eyes and a white patch on her chest and then white little like socks on her feet. I've been watching What We Do in the Shadows and it's hilarious. Yes, it's a very fun show. It's a good show. Natalia, no Natalia, no Natasha, no end names. Marisha? I've never watched Critical Role. I have watched a little bit of like the Dropout TV, stuff, but other than that, not really anything. Do you have an Instagram? I'd love to ask some questions. This new life of mine at 43 can be a little confusing. I'm not really on Instagram anymore because I am constantly afraid of my whole account being deleted. But I do have a Patreon, and you can join my Patreon. I have a monthly chat option on there. Link to that is down below. We also do these live streams every Friday. If you want to come in and ask questions, it's the best way to do it. Tuxie Lady. That's funny. Oh, cats tend to react in names that end in Y or I. Oh, I had never, that's interesting. Okay. Apparently, Y or I. Fascinating. Okay. The more we know about cats. 10 out of 10 suggest Critical Role / Legends of Vox Machina. Well, one of my roommates has already watched all of that, and I missed the boat, so I will not be partaking. Helgi. I was gonna put eyes at the end of all the suggestions just to see what they sound like. Caprice, like a Capri Sun. Do you say it like Capri Sun? Like Caprice, like it. I already got Wednesday on the list. Nissa? I don't think, no end names, probably. I guess you could name a female cat Loki, because Loki's a shapeshifter, and Loki can be any gender that Loki wants to be. The cat could be called Valenki. This is the title of a Russian song, and Valenki is a type of fluffy boots, like the cat paw patterns. Oh, the more you know, Valenki. I named all my cats with the rule in mind. Katie could be a good option. Like Caddy or Katie? Caddy might be a little bit, it's too obvious. I've heard that too, or generally names end in a rising inflection. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. We'll be joining again. I only just found your channel the last 2 weeks. It's great. I'll go and check it out. Yeah, for sure. Link to that is down below. And then come back any Friday. We're here, and usually we're not naming a cat. So normally we just go through questions. Okay, there's a super chat that hopefully will pop up in a second that involves a very cute pair. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Oh, thank you. Well, you're welcome. Portia? I like that. Do people normally name their cats like human-y names or like silly names like squid? Or I think we got a squid earlier in here. Leslie, Tiffany. Yes, thank you for the super chat again. That's a long one. What is that one? Oh, my cat is named, and then it went off the screen. Okay, I was just about to see what it was. It was like, Materitio, maybe? I low-key love Loki as a female cat name. All right. Do I have Loki? I'm going to put Loki on here. I wonder how many cats are currently named Loki. I feel like that's probably a pretty popular cat name. Karen. Karen. Oh, it's a good one. Spaghetti. Oh, spaghetti. That would be funny. You guys could keep the Bandita theme and name her like Bandita Landra. Yeah, maybe. Roxanne. Buffy. I would name her Buffy. That would be a great name for a cat. But my roommate hates Buffy the Vampire Slayer and thinks it's stupid. So there'll probably be no... Actually, they'll probably eliminate Willow, too, because Willow's also... That's also the name of a main character in Buffy. So, well, we'll keep it a secret, all right? I give all pets human names. Cat names are usually a mix of serious names and cute names, but usually cute, silly names. Greek gods and goddesses also make funny cat names, yeah. Bacardi. That would be funny, Bacardi. I'm trying not to do bee names, so I don't want my dog to be confused about what her name is if we start also calling another, like, bee name, you know? I don't know how much of a problem that would be, but I'd prefer to avoid it, because she has great recall right now with her actual name, and I'm trying to preserve that, so. So many cats named Loki. Yeah, I had a cat named Loki a few years ago. Okay. Sekhmet. Mavis. Xena. I like Xena too. That's a good one. It's short. You've got the... I guess it doesn't have an I or a Y ending, but like... Priscilla. Landra is a female burglar in Portuguese, Brazilian. Oh, the more you know. The more you know. Priscilla. I feel like I missed a lot of names because the chat's been flying by and I love it. Regina George. Oh, that'd be so funny. Ruby. No, I have one of my siblings has already named one of their animals Ruby. So Ruby's taken. We already got a family member named Ruby. I have Sushi, Snowball, Fireball, and Bailey. I like how we quickly went from food to liquor. That's very funny. Mango. Mango. I feel like I'm getting every like 5th name that's being suggested currently. Gretchen Wieners. Just Gretchen. Ashara. Mina, I don't think I have written down yet. Mina's a good one. Minya. Could do with like a tilde over the end and then you get more of that nasally Y sound in it. Hamburguesa? Yeah, exactly. We could do hamburguesa. Why not? We just figured out what the cat's favorite food is, and then we just name them after that. What's this? I cannot remember it. What is the Spanish word for shrimp? I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna be like, oh, this is, now I remember. I have not had to use Spanish in so long. Oh, camarón. Right, camarón. Is it like a cutesy kind of, like, is there like a shrimpy? Like, is there camaronita? I always end up doing that to whatever the name's gonna be anyways, so it doesn't really matter, right? Jessica, Nori, maybe. It's got the I sound in there. Opal. Oh yeah, Stormy I already saw. Yeah, I got that one. Mildred. Amy. Or Ami. Camarones, yeah. As soon as ever, now I know where we are in the chat, because now I'm seeing all the ones of people telling me what the Spanish word for shrimp is again. I thought, for a second in my head, I was thinking that was just like the whole word for seafood. Which is mariscos. But, you know, I'm vegan and I don't use Spanish that much, so, you know, why would I need to remember what mariscos versus camarones, you know? Not a common thing. Apparently Millie. Oh, Millie's a cute name. I like Millie with a Y. That's probably short for something. Like Russian names that start with M. I don't know. It's probably, maybe it's a diminutive of something. Oh, those are masculine names. I don't want Maria. Marina, Marta, Marcia, Melania, of course. No Melania. What do you think? Everything goes okay. What do you think of Amelie? Is this supposed to be Amelie or Millie? Macaroni? That would be funny. Creature? Juno? Tilapia? Tiramisu? Penny? Oh, Penny. Yeah. Vanilli? Yeah, I saw Mildred. I saw Mildred. No B names because we already have a B name. Really love your accent when talking in Spanish. Thank you. I grew up in Florida. I was around a lot of Cubans and Puerto Ricans, and then my Spanish teacher in high school was from Chile, and then my Spanish teacher in college was from Argentina. And so I have a weird, when I speak Spanish, I get weird little nuggets of when I learn different words in their various accents. I just keep those. And also, my first best friend was from Spain, and her name was Sofia, or Sofia. And she was like fresh from Spain in kindergarten, and we drew together. I thought that she was the best artist I'd ever met in my entire life. And we had a great kindergarten year. It was awesome. Dahlia, that's a good one. Or Delilah, maybe. Balusa? Oh, Stella? Yeah. I feel like that's probably a pretty common cat name too. I wonder what the most common cat names are. What is Google? If I Google what the most common cat names are? What are the most common cat names? Oliver, Luna, Milo, Lily, Leo, Bella, Charlie, Lucy. Probably Shadow has to be on there, right? Loki's number 6. Loki's number 6. Bella, Nala, Kitty, Clea, Willow's also on there. Funnily, I don't know why Willow is so popular. That's funny. Zoe, Chloe, Daisy. Daisy was one of my first pets, so no Daisy either. Pepper. How is Pepper in the top lit? Rosie? Yeah, Kiki. I like Kiki. Cause the cat in Kiki's Delivery Service, right? There's a black cat. Though I don't think the cat's name is Kiki. Lulu, Piper, Phantom, Luciana. Yeah, I know the Spanish word for cat. Let's see what else is on here. I'm like, that can't be a real list because Shadow wasn't even on there, and there's no way that that's not on there. Oh, okay. So for boy cats, the most popular is Oliver, Leo, Milo, Simba, Max. Max as a cat name? I didn't even thought of that before. Charlie, Loki, Jack, Shadow, and Smokey. And then female is Luna, Bella, Lucy, Nala, Kitty, Lily. I love how Kitty is just numbered. Like female cats don't even get a name. It's just Kitty. Chloe, Daisy, Cleo, and Mia. Missy. Unironically, I do like Missy as a cat name. I feel like that's like, it captures the attitude of a cat appropriately. My orange cat is called Lily, but aren't lilies really poisonous to cats? Like, isn't that kind of naming your dog Chocolate? It's like, or like grape. Lasagna. Esmeralda is really good with green eyes, yeah. Omelet. I feel like food names are more like masculine for cats. Goober. I guess we could just... Well, no, because Esme's been ruined by Twilight, hasn't it? I like old names. And not for cats necessarily, but for like people. I like Esther and shit. I like 1950s names basically. I'm like, ooh, Esther. That sounds Rachel. Well, Rachel's probably even more modern than that, but like shit that people have definitely not named their children in 30 years. Like Missy Elliott, exactly. No, not really though. Marsala. Trying to go Lola. Pop-Tart. I do love Pop-Tarts. Gigi. Right, Gigi was the cat's name. I have a friend who's a cat named Pepper. Oh, I was thinking of like pepper like a chili pepper. But now that I'm thinking pepper like the spice, like the condiment, that would make more sense. Yog Soggoth. Or like Yagi for short, exactly. Yog Sothoth. I always have fucking Lovecrafty names always get me, but that's kind of on purpose, isn't it? He did that by design. Ethel. Spot. Yeah, how is Spot not on the most common cat name list? Yeah, she's female, black and white. Yeah, Misty. Amelia. I don't think I have Misty on here yet. I'll put that down. Trying to go back and yeah, I will definitely tell you what name ends up being picked for sure. Bendita Bonita. Well, I already call her Bendita Bonita, so I can't really like name a cat Bonita because then I can't call her Bonita. Bing boing. Really? Like, are these serious? Myrtle. Yeah, exactly. Myrtle's like premium old person name, and I love it. Dorothy. Absolutely love Dorothy. Mimi. Miami, right? That's the old French name. That's how you actually are supposed to pronounce Miami, apparently. Jula. Maybe not. Liliana. Oh, do I know that's okay? I think I do. No, I've not ever heard that song before. Qué difícil es hablar en español. No, I've not seen that one. Oh, thank you for suggesting my channel. Thank you. Argentinians always mess people's Spanish. That's true. It's not, yeah. It was a really good, like, actually, like, I don't know how many people are here in college, like, learning a foreign language. What I found really helped me with, like, learning the language, though it's been 8 years since I've taken a Spanish class, and, like, clearly that shows. But at the time when I was, like, using it every day and I was doing it in class, what I found was really helpful is I would do, like, there was, like a CD component to the class, like an online component of the class, and I would listen to like the spoken version of the vocabulary words, I would write them down, and then I would do the opposite, and then I would try to like I would read the words and try to pronounce them out loud, and I was really focusing on like, okay, when I'm hearing this word, how is the speaker saying it, and trying to focus on that. I'm also very, very grateful because my professor in college actually taught us like the differences in oral posture for like English versus Spanish, and I think that makes a really huge difference. Like, definitely if you're learning any language, don't skip over learning like the mouth posture for different sounds, because if you try to do like the T sound or whatever, because in English it's like T, but in Spanish it's like te, like it's right behind your teeth. And like, I'm sure other languages have a similar thing. If you're trying to learn French or Italian or Swedish or something, like learning how, even though maybe the vowels are the same or the consonants are the same, like the way you say them in your mouth is different, and that makes a really big difference to how you say it. Not that I am by any means an expert, and my Spanish is like beyond rusty. I can barely read a sentence anymore. But if you're learning a language, I think the big thing that, like, if you're just doing Duolingo or whatever, you're not really going to necessarily get is, like, oh, it's not just, like, you got to say it differently. It's also, like, how, like, where your tongue is in your mouth makes a difference. But, yeah. Vivian. It's a good one. No, anyways. Sophia. I do wonder what happened to my elementary school friends. Where are they all? I wonder. I haven't had Facebook in a long ass time though, so I have no idea. Janet, Ghost, Khadijah, Kiwi. I like Kiwi. That's what I would name a cat for sure. Kiwi. Language Reactor is a good extension for learning languages. Shows the subtitles in English plus whatever language you set it to, so you can read the language and learn English. Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah. Learn language in a class is really hard at BYU. All the missionaries are placed in immersive dorms. Yeah, like, I'm obviously, like, if you're not doing immersion, you're not really going to have a good time. Like, I know people that they did like foreign language as their major in school, and when it came time for them to do their study abroad, like, they learned 20 times more of whatever language it was doing the study abroad than they did in the classroom. But, you can learn the basics in the classroom, but immersion is always going to give you the best, obviously. Nougat. Lychee. Pollyanna. Selena. Beverly. Oh, Pippa. Pippa's cute. Elvira. Phoebe. I do feel bad for, like, kids that are named Phoebe, because I have to imagine that's, like, a hard one for other little kids to know how to spell, right? When they're, like, writing you a Valentine's or whatever. Shakira. Quill. Mabel. Flo. Meredith. Sesame. Agnes. Opal. Taffy. BRB gonna read the French sides of all the food in my pantry for inspiration. Well, that is one of the things you can do if you're Canadian, I guess, right? You've got the double labels in French and English. Black and white cat, Queen Amber Triskelion. That's way too many syllables. Tic Tac. Listen. She is so full of napping. Listen, she's only napping right now because she spent the last 6 hours consecutively panting and freaking out. Like, she was running around, she was panting, she was clawing, she was doing a little meerkat thing. Like, she's only doing this now because she's exhausted. But normally she doesn't nap like this, so, maybe it's back to business as usual. Smudge. Gizmo. I really like Gizmo for a dog name. I feel like this is a really good, like a high energy dog name. Cher. Pokey. Riri, like Rihanna. Pico? Is that what it is? Isn't that... I feel like I'm thinking of a bird? Oh, like the T. Wait, how do we say that?
Pico.
Okay, it is Pico. I'm not... Okay, I was like, that can't be right. That can't be it. But alas, it is. Lucille? Picante. Yeah, exactly. She's a little... Might be a spicy nugget. You know, who knows? Oh, yeah, of course, the Aristocats. Duchess, Marie, and Toulouse. And then what was the other one? I know Toulouse. I forget the other boy cat's name. Holly. Skelly. That would be a very funny name for a cat. Matilda. Chiquita, like the banana brand. Minzy. Adelaide. Yeah, really like Arana? Okay, just wanted to make sure. Berlos? How? What in the... Listen, like, my Spanish is not even passable, but my French is... Can you even call it? Like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even, like, how... Like, I don't even know where to begin attempting to say that word.
Berlioz.
Berlioz? Wait, is that even it?
Berlioz.
Berlioz? What? No, doesn't compute. I'm like, French and I do not get along mentally. I look at it and I'm sure if I learned more about like the rules of how it works, I could figure it out, but not today. Tiki. Zoe. She likes exploring, but she doesn't seem to have any zoomies that I can tell. Winifred. Francine. Yeah, like the composer. Now that I knew it was the composer, I never even seen the composer's name written down before, and I went, oh. Obviously. Helena. Sugar? Yeah, exactly. Calypso? Stinky? Penny, I think we already got. Void? That would be funny. She's not like Void is really good for like a completely like black cat. And this is like, she's black and white. I don't think it quite works the same way. Yep, no, there she is. She smelled the door again. Yeah, I know. Your new best friend ever of all time is outside. Your new best friend forever. I know I'm just chopped liver. I know. Hi, come here. You awoke from your slumber. Hi. Oh, no. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Good girl. Look, you guys can you see this? Okay, you can. Hi, dog. You just miss Crazy Pants, are you? You just miss Crazy Pants. Hi. Abyss or Abby. That's funny. French is a struggle for most, LOL. Francophone versus Paris, yeah. Little girl. Little girl with your little doggy zoomies. With your little doggy zoomies. What's up with little doggy zoomies, huh? We're just so obsessed. We can't help but do the zoom. We gotta zoom everywhere all the time. Can we name the cat Sibian? LOL, don't know why that sounds like a cat name to me. No, it does. It does sound like a cat name. I don't think I could call her that, though. Sugar Mama? I think, yeah, sure, why not Balenciaga? That would be funny. Balenciaga. That makes you think of the Princess Nokia song. I don't think that song's called Balenciaga. Does anyone even know who I'm talking about? I'm in the wrong demographic for this, I think. No, it is called Balenciaga. Okay. Okay, I was right. It is Balenciaga. I never remember the names of songs. Locket. Effie. Alright, I'm running out of... I got like a couple more lines here for names. I'll let you guys know when I run out of room, and then we'll call it a brainstorming session over. Gucci. Mod. Okay, I don't think I've written down Sybil yet, but I remember seeing that one a couple times. Shibari also sounds like a cat name. This actually has been relaxing to me. I'm glad it's been relaxing. There's a cat. My roommate got a cat that has no name. And so we're naming it. She's a female cat, black and white, green eyes. Kumori? Oh, that's cute. I like that, Kumori. Yoshi? This is Nokia, yeah. Yeah. Prada. Yuna? Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's a K-pop star that's called Yuna as well. Maybe that's just in the book I'm reading. I think there's a character named Yuna. Nokia, like the phone company, yes, but also like the female rap artist, Princess Nokia. Princess Nokia. You're Princess Bandit. You're Princess Bandit. Chibi. She's not a very diminutive cat, though. Maybe that makes it okay. Like, would it be hateful if you had a cat with, like, short legs that was small, then you named it Chibi? Dolly. Like Dolly Parton. That's what I think of. Dots. Just baby. I need to see her. The baby, the cat who's not a baby is currently acclimating. So she's not out in a boot. But she also will probably never be in this room because I'm allergic to cats. And I'm going to try and control the dander where I can. Mercy. Bruna. Trinket. I like Trinket. Just shiny. That's not how you spell trinket. Drink. It. My reading at a young age did not translate to my ability to spell things well, as it turns out. Chi-Chi? Oh, I love those books. There's a, I don't know if it's not exactly a manga, I don't think, but there is a really cute book series about a cat that's called Cheese Sweet Home. If you guys ever want like a cute little slice of life, easy to read. I guess it is technically a manga series. And it's, and the cat accidentally ends up being called She. It's like a whole thing. You can read it on the Wikipedia page. And, it's cute. It's a cute little thing. Lucretia? I can never know how to say Lucretia. I always get tongue-tied on it. It's not good. Cameo. Cake. Good girl. Good girl. Alright, you want to get down, don't you? Alright, you gotta be calm. Don't freak out. If you freak out, the cat won't like you. Phyllis. Mulan. All right. Oh, Drusilla. Okay, that's another Buffy name. So I'll probably be overruled on that one. I guess I could name a female cat Sebastian. More like Cameo, am I right? Instead of Cameo? Alaya? Luca? Mirabelle? I like Mirabelle. A lot of potential for nicknames in that. Fiji? Polyester got me rolling, not gonna lie. That is a good one. When you say it out loud, you realize, oh, there we go. Polyester. I know, you're just obsessed, aren't you? All right, she's I can't move my camera over to where she's currently at, so I'm gonna turn off the doggo camera again. But Ketchup would be a great name for a duck. I don't know why I have this in my head, but I feel like Ketchup would be a really good name for a pet duck. Not because I would ever eat one, because I'm vegan, but I just think that the name... I think because there's an Animal Crossing duck character named Ketchup. I think that's what it is. Actually, that's probably what I should go off of. I should look at the cat villagers in Animal Crossing. No, Anka, because I'm permanently traumatized by seeing Animal Crossing porn of Anka on the front page of YouTube. And so, no Anka. Felicity, I love Felicity as a name. Like, I would want to save that one, though. I wouldn't want to name a cat Felicity. Feline, that's funny. That's a good little pun. Kabuki. There's a Kiki. There's also a Kiki in Animal Crossing. And a kitty. And a Lolly, who is my #1 favorite cat animal villager. There's a Meow, Mary, Mitzi, Mo, Monique, Olivia, Pierre, Punchy, Pearl. I want to put Pearl down. Although the name Pearl's kind of been tainted by just pearly things, but we'll get over it. Rudy, Stinky, Tabby, Tangy, and Tom, and then Blanca, Caitlin, Katie, and Rover. Is there has to be more. There has to be more cats than that. I feel like, does Marshall in there? Oh no, Raymond. That's his name. Fucking Raymond. The one everyone's obsessed with. Raymond. Yep, no, it was a thing. Animal Crossing. Yep, somebody made. You can look it up if you want. It's animated. It's not super graphic, but it's like she's like doing the Eggio face and like I just don't even want to think about it. Inky. Garnet? I like Garnet. Jasper. Mew Mew. Nugget. Peach. Smokey. Smokey and the Bandit. Wow. Taking it back. Old school. That would be funny. Okay, and we're out of room for names. So thank you all for the contribution. I appreciate it. Love it. Great stuff. We did some great brainstorming today. I will let you know what name ends up being selected. If it's one of these or something else. Honestly, y'all suggested enough names to where I'm pretty sure we're at least going to get a variant of this somewhere in there. That would be very, very funny, though. Smokey. And then you can make... Does anyone even get that anymore? I feel like... Because that's like from the 70s or 80s, right? Yeah, that's from the 80s. Yeah, no Zoomer is going to get that reference. All right, I'm glad this was fun. Okay, so we have time for like a couple more questions. So I'm gonna go back up, see where I can get you in the chat. I think, as honestly, we had yeah, I can scroll all the way to the top, and it's just cat names. So for now, if you guys have any questions, ask them now. I'm going to just keep an eye on the bottom of the chat, the most recent stuff, and we'll go off of that. If I missed a question from earlier, put it in again. If you didn't ask a question before, but you want to now, do it now. We've got like 10-15 minutes to answer questions. Chat played the name is right. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even get water. I thought I was going to take a break and get a drink. I thought I was going to turn this into a drinking game, and that didn't end up happening. Yeah, you guys get it now? Okay. Smokey and Misty are good contenders for sure. I feel like my roommate's probably going to go for a silly, stupid name, though. I feel like we have maybe opposite naming preferences, but people are feeling hardcore on the Smokey. People are voting for the Smokey. Advice for feeling less ashamed of being a little. Okay, totally, Shelly. Good question. So I actually kind of talk about a similar process to this in the video I recently did on emotional sadism. Oh, I think the cat was at my door. Or I don't know what that was. Maybe they were... Whatever. I'm still laughing about polyester. Listen, somebody get 2 goldfish and name one Polly and one Esther. And then you won't feel so bad because it's a fish and like they don't have to live down their names for forever, right? Yeah, I know. The cat was right there. I know. This is gonna ruin my life. All right. So advice for being a little and dealing with that, and feeling less ashamed of it. So I talk about this in my video on emotional sadism, which feels like the exact opposite topic of being a little. But the general advice for like shame, feeling guilty, feeling bad about yourself is, I think it really helps, one, to be around a community of people that have a similar mind of yours. So like finding community online or in person with other littles and or pet players, people that have been through your journey before and know what it's like to like discover yourself being a little, discover yourself, you know, in terms of, you know, what activities you're into or helping you find a partner or something to play with. Finding community support and feeling less alone is so important, I think, in feeling less shame and feeling secure in your identity. I also think just in general, even if you can't find that, like being around a supportive community of people, be that, again, you know, here on my YouTube channel, we're very supportive of people, or your local community in person, even if there's not a lot of other littles around, if they're supportive of littles, that's really, really good. And then kind of just reminding yourself, like, you genuinely, like, okay, think about what you're doing. Is it hurting anyone? Is it bad in any way? Like, does it violate your own values, right? And I'm assuming it probably doesn't. And as long as it doesn't do that, I think it's worth gently acknowledging that what you are feeling is a valid feeling, but maybe not appropriate in scope for reality, and trying to just like mentally ease away from that feeling of shame and reminding yourself that you don't have to feel ashamed, that what you want is okay, that you're not hurting everyone, that you're living within your values, and that that's what really matters, is that everything you want to do is consensual and enjoyable and you're not hurting anyone else. And I think that takes a really long time to do that, but that is certainly one way to get on that path, is like supportive community. And when it comes up, like kind of doing a little sort of CBT, I guess, not that CBT, the therapeutic CBT of like correcting those negative thoughts. And yeah, it's a journey, but it is there. If a couple of switches, oh fuck, okay, these are going by too fast. would you ever consider being a slave or stay as submissive in future power exchange dynamics, or maybe a different role altogether? If I was doing power exchange, I would definitely be on the left side of, right side of the slash. I would be, because it's D and then S. I would definitely still want to be a submissive of some description. I can be a sadist. I don't necessarily really enjoy topping, the act of topping, but I am a sadist, and so it sort of facilitates doing the thing that I actually like. I don't really have an interest in being a dominant partner. I would definitely, like, in a future power exchange relationship, I would be interested in that. But I am being very picky about the people that I do that with now. So, also why you guys won't necessarily and haven't heard about that journey on YouTube is because it's a long process, and I'm willing to wait for the right person. Absolutely. How long should you boil silicone toys for? I've seen everything from 3 minutes all the way to 15. I'm not really sure where anyone's getting numbers for that from. I would say longer is probably better. Let me see if I've got something here. According to, let's look at, okay, if you wanted to boil, what's a similar sort of thing? Okay, like bottle feeding equipment. Let's do that. It should be a rolling boil for 2 minutes. And then I'm also seeing it must boil for at least 20 minutes. So yeah, you're right. It is really all over the place. Yeah, it looks like for yeah, I'm seeing a lot too. It's like either 5 or 20 minutes. I know when I do canning jars, when I'm sterilizing canning jars, I do 10 minutes because I'm at an altitude of less than 1,000 feet. And so far, I've never gotten botulism from any of the jams that I've made, so that's probably a good guess. I would probably do 10 minutes, because I feel like 5 or 2 minutes isn't long enough. I feel like 10 is probably a good sweet spot. But I don't really do that as a cleaning method for silicone toys generally, so I'm not sure. But good question. I'll have to see if anyone has an authoritative answer on that. If a couple of switches had different characters for the different roles, how could they do a scene for the submissive characters together? Like a self-bondage escaping scene where you both have to escape from bondage. Well, that's risky in case neither one of you can get out. Like hypnosis and like mental emotional stuff would probably work pretty well. I don't know. That's a good question. What's one of your videos that has some stuff in it that may help a 43-year-old who's only been doing this for a year? All of them. I have a BDSM 101 playlist, but I have a kind of more recent video that's probably relevant for you, Natalie. Let me see if I can get the exact title here. I know I did it recently. Where is it? Maybe it's longer ago than I thought it was. From like 6 months ago, I have a video that's called "Does Age Matter in BDSM? Tips for starting your journey now." So I'd go ahead and watch that one if you want to learn more about starting your journey at 43. That's kind of probably the most relevant one that's recent. But honestly, just going through and taking a survey of my BDSM 101 videos, there's going to be a lot of information in there for you. Absolutely. Also depends on what you're interested in. So, got to tailor it based off of that. I also think I have some trauma from a past dom judging me as well, but all this is good advice either way, so thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I absolutely not everyone that you're in a relationship with is going to be supportive, and if that has left you with trauma, valid. Totally valid to feel that and experience that, and hopefully being around more positively minded and supportive people will help. How do you feel about podcasts talking about kink/BDSM without education? I see it often in one of my favorites, into frustrating. I mean, it depends. Because if it's like, I don't know, a sports podcast or something, and then they randomly segue into like, I was choking my old lady the other night, like, that I can see being bothersome. I think there is value in just like kinky people living their lives and sharing their lives without it necessarily being full-on educational. But that really depends on the subject matter, because it's very easy to present that in a way where it comes off like, you can do what I can do. And if you start telling people about your like MS power exchange relationship as like the B plot to your podcast, and you don't really talk about like what it takes to get there, I think people might be left with the wrong impression. And I think I can see why you wouldn't want to be bogged down in like being an instructor, but I also think that if you're going to talk about certain subjects, you at least owe your audience like a caveat of what the risks of doing that thing is. Like, I think that would probably just be responsible. But I also think it's good to just be kinky folk being out there and being kinky and not necessarily having to do it in like an educating capacity. Okay, I think I saw an answer in regard to the boiling. Yeah, what kind of bacteria protein survives being boiled for more than 5 minutes? Yeah, rolling boil for 2 minutes will be fine. Fomites will be dead by then as they die off way earlier than boiling point. The more you know. Yeah. I think what they're referring to is podcasts who call people degenerates and joke about that with Oh, yeah. Like people who are like, oh, sort of like not even the manosphere types, but sort of like are like manosphere adjacent and like talking about conquests and like sexual stuff and hookups and things. Yeah, I think that kind of gets into maybe like irresponsibly kind of like encouraging your audience to do something without, doing the work at the same time. Yeah, I can see that being a problem. Okay. All right, what time is it? 8:02? Yeah, age absolutely does not absolutely abso-forking-lutely matter. That's a fun one. I'm almost 40 and I'm a little exactly. You can be any age as long as you're legal, right? Don't be 15. Gotta be at least 18, but beyond that, anything you want. This is my first time joining live. Well, I am sorry to say, Michelle, you were catching us at the very bitter end here. We are about to wrap up the stream because I haven't eaten and it's 8 p.m. and I need to go get dinner. So we're gonna do that. All right. Come here, Spinny girl. Come here. Come on. We gotta say goodbye to the people. We gotta say goodbye. Some people should not have microphones, I swear to God. Yeah, sometimes. I can't even think of exactly what you're saying. I sort of think of like the Just Pearly Things type episodes where it's like women need to be submissive, but they don't really mean submissive in that sense. They mean like subservient in the bedroom because God commands you to. But people confuse, obviously, that kind of conversation about men are dominant and masculine and women are submissive and feminine with like actual consensual BDSM, and then it just gets very confusing. Yes, we are here every Friday at 6. Oh, that reminds me. I am not going to be streaming next Friday. I will be streaming on Monday and Thursday, but not on Friday. So I am sorry. I will be doing a big weekend event. It's very exciting for me. I will be hopefully, what am I going to do on Friday? I'm probably going to, I think Friday night is the night I'm beating people up. So I'm going to be at a dungeon, kicking, craning, hair pulling the shit. What did I even just say? Caning, hair pulling, kicking the shit out of somebody. And, it'll be a fun time. Yes, good night, Evie and the Lupineers. Thank you. Thank you to the Lupineers. Thank you to everyone who is here for the live stream. Wish my dog luck in her journey of being a pet sibling and having to deal with the cat being around her constantly because she's obsessed. She's a stalker. She cannot contain herself. She loves cats more than she loves me. I am chopped liver right now. It hurts my feelings. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right. There we go. Good girl. All right, bye everyone. Good night. Hopefully I'll see you around.